Hello, hello. I was just getting StreamYard wouldn't let me in, but we are we are in now. How's everyone feeling? How's everyone going? Um, Wanted to just sort of jump on and have a chat about the pies. Just a quick one. Doesn't have to be long, half an hour or something. Try and get some people in. I know it's a Sunday. I've got a busy week coming up, so I thought, oh, this probably be the best time to sort of do it. If you want to come on and have a chat, I'll drop the link. Um, I'll drop the link in here. So use that link, jump in, have a chat on Facebook and on YouTube as well. So that'll be a bit of fun. Um, yeah, how's everyone's Sunday going? I'm going good. Kid Leroy fan, little Sparky. Yeah, I'm going good, mate. It's been a pretty chill Sunday. But yeah, StreamYard wouldn't let me join for some reason. But we'll have a chat. There's a couple of people coming in now. Um, and we'll just get all right. We'll get Manny. You're ready, mate? Well, he's just setting up his camera. We'll get Manny on for a chat. Couple of people joining, which is nice. I was sitting next to you in the Collingwood Essendon game, Malou. Where were you in that game? To the left of me there were some girls, to the right there was Dad. Behind there was a couple of guys, and I can't remember who was in front of me because my memory is really, really bad. How are we actually going in the VFL? Let's just check those VFL scores and give you everyone a sort of update. I think the AFL website has to be one of the worst websites fucking going around. Collingwood just scored a goal when I clicked in. That's really nice. We're losing by what is that? 30 points. That is crazy. I'm Frankston. Yeah, Frankston are just as bad as us, but we're somehow worse. Let's look at player stats. Ash Johnson kicked 2 goals. I think Josh Ayres got a goal. Got a few goals as well. But we are just getting absolutely pants at the moment, it looks like. All right. So anyway, Manny, ready to go, mate? Let's do it. How you going, brother?
Hey, brother, how are you, buddy? What are you doing,
Yeah,
mate?
not too bad. Yeah, not too bad, mate. It's been a pretty chill Sunday. Pretty chill Sunday. What about you?
How'd you recover from fucking Friday night? You recovered yet?
Yeah. I recovered. I was pretty fucking devastated, but you know, it is what it is at the moment, and we just gotta go through it and hit Geelong on Friday. Tell me your thoughts, mate. What's going on?
Absolute disgrace. Can you explain to me, right, how we can go from playing champagne footy in the first quarter, right,
Mm.
to absolute shithouse? I still can't work it out, bro.
Yeah, it's
I can't work it out, bro. It boggles the fucking mind, bro. I'm still pissed off about it, man. I'm telling you,
yeah.
it fucking pissed me off
I,
this week, big time.
I agree, man. Like, how do we go from Jack Crisp kicking 3 goals in a minute 30 to not kicking any goals, like just being shit for the next 3 quarters? It's I know Essendon sort of brought their pressure, which is fair enough. They were always going to do that. But when you get 5 goals up and then don't show anything for the next 3 quarters, it says a lot. It, it says a lot about how our season has gone, Manny. It was like I said in my review of the game. It was diabolical. It's pathetic, really. That effort in the third quarter was shit. And again, Craig McRae last week came out and said, we don't want to keep putting ourselves in this position. It's getting tiresome. And what do? We put ourselves in that position again going into the last quarter.
Yeah, no, bro, but how does it go so wrong? That's what I can't work out. We're banging them from fucking everywhere. How do we
Yeah.
turn so shit in one quarter? What it
No.
must be either the effort they're not hungry enough, something's fucking up.
Yeah. I think. Look, I think that's what it is, man. I think they can say the boys can come out and say that they're that they're hungry and you know they're ready to go. They're ready to go again. Blah 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 blah. But we're just not seeing it at all. We're just not seeing it, and
Look, look,
it's fucking disgraceful, bro.
it's fucking bad up. It's not Collingwood footy, man. It's
Yeah.
fucking disgraceful. They got to get a bait. They got to get a bait. They got to be bait, right? Dusty Moist have a good hard look at himself. He still hasn't come out, right? Last 3 weeks, Dusty Moore still hasn't come out and given a press conference. He should have come out and explained to us what the fuck's going on with the team, right? He's in hiding. Well, I think it's time to give it I think it's time to give the captaincy to Maynard, right? Then maybe I think it's time for Nick Dacos to take over because Dusty Moore's all over the shop.
We'll see Nick Dacos as captain soon. Not this year, but we'll see him soon. What do you? I think you're right. I think it's kind of like when you're doing poorly at work, right? Your CEO sort of says something, and that's kind of like Craig McRae as the coach. But then your team leader, if you're doing poorly, your team leader comes out in a meeting and says, "Look, this is on me. This is we need to get better. This is what we're doing." I think you're right. I think we do need to see maybe in one of the press conferences leading up to the Geelong game on like a Wednesday or a Thursday with Craig McRae. Let Dusty Moore take some questions and tell us why his team is playing the way that we fucking are.
Especially the way he's playing. He gets caught. If you watch the games properly, he gets caught always on the half back line on the wing, right? What happens is his opponent takes the mark, and then his opponent kicks the ball over his head, and he's jogging back to the 50. He's not even he's caught in no man's land.
Yeah.
He's always caught in no man's land. Yeah, and then I don't know what he's doing. Quaynor's in a leadership group this year, and he's gone missing.
Yep.
Josh Dacos, he takes miracle kicks. He tries to take kicks straight to the middle of the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck it. I don't know what it is, bro. The whole.
How do you? But all right, so we don't know what it is. But what would you do if you were Craig McRae right now?
I'm going back to last year's footy. I'm going back to the last year's footy. We're playing a forward half game now. The boys can't play it properly. I'm going back to old school footy. I'm going back to I'm going back to slingshot footy off the half back line, right? And if they're good enough to stop us, they can stop us. But they weren't good enough last year to stop us. They know what we're doing. Every club knows what we're doing. Let's go back to basics, back to fucking off the half back line, right? And start cutting teams through the middle.
Yeah,
we're playing a different game style now. We're playing.
We are. We 100% are. We 100% are. I saw a stat before the game. I can't remember the exact statistic, but we're playing, like you said, we're playing so much more from our forward half than we are from our back half. And obviously our back half game is where we played our best football. We've sort of we tried to reinvent ourselves this year, but it's hard to play forward half footy when you don't have a fucking forward line.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. Now we lost my check. Right, you know what the problem is? By the time we got out, hopefully by the time we get all our players back, we're not too far down the ladder because this week here, we're going to end up in fucking 12 on the ladder. Melbourne's giving it to West Coast. I'm watching it. Right, they're putting percentage on them. They're going to jump us, and Brisbane's playing fucking the Crows and all. They're going to jump us as well. We're going to be fucking 12, 11, 12 on the ladder. Yeah. It's fucking not good, bro. You know what the worst thing is? Yeah.
Tell me.
You know what the worst thing is? We've done all the work.
What is it?
We've done all the work, bro. We set ourselves up with all the injuries. All the work's been done. The price is right there. We can see the premiership. We're playing for top 4 and they come out and gave up. After the first quarter, they gave up, bro. We've done all the work. Yeah. Wasn't the coach telling? Boys, we've done all the work, mate. We held on with all our injuries. We set ourselves up, and you're coming out after quarter time, and you're fucking folding.
Yeah. It's sad.
All the work's been. We've done the work, bro. All the work's been done.
No, 100%.
Yeah, bro.
A couple of weeks ago, before the Gold Coast game, we just needed to win that game, and we've locked in top 4. We were like 4 or 6 points clear of top 4 if we had just beaten the Gold Coast, and now we lose 2 in a fucking row.
We're lucky we beat North Melbourne today.
Yeah,
I was horrified when I was watching us play North Melbourne. I was horrified. Lucky we beat this has been coming on for 3 weeks, bro. This isn't 1 week, right?
Oh, 100%.
This has been happening for 3 weeks now. You know what? Oh, we're lucky. We're lucky we got Nick Dacos. Me and you have spoken about this, right? We knew.
Yeah.
Me and you know footy. I don't give a fuck about other countries. I'm a 40-year fucking member. See this?
Yeah.
See the Dacos' premiership fucking top. You see it? That's what they play for, mate. They play for the colours, right? Me and you know. We know footy, right? If it wasn't for Nick Dacos, bro, we would have got fucking smashed. He saved our ass fucking plenty of times.
100%.
He saved our ass big time. And fucking, I don't know what the others are doing, but how can they watch Nick? How can they watch Nick, right? Bust his fucking ass, right? And they don't get behind him.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's
It's
I'd be look, if I was a player, and I know, you know, I can say this because I'm fucking sitting on a chair in my study and I'm not in that system, but I'd be embarrassed, to be honest, with the effort. I would, and to let a 21-year-old or 22, however old he is, carry the whole team on his back. No one rallying for him. 21. No one rallying for him or with him.
We're gonna burn him out there. They're gonna burn him out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And other people talking about doing a rebuild. Oh, we're finished. We're doing a rebuild. Our best players were fucking the older players. Pendlebury and Sidebottom were the good players on the fucking weekend. We can't do a rebuild. We'll do a rebuild. You know what's gonna happen? We're gonna waste Nick's career if we do a rebuild. We can't waste Nick's career like that, mate. We can't rebuild nothing. Just like
we sort of wasted Pendlebury's when Buckley came in after 2012, and we had to rebuild on the run. And we wasted Pendlebury's time back then.
Wasted fucking time. What do you think's gonna happen Friday night? I'm telling you, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out a lot about the boys on Friday night, mate. We're gonna find out. You're gonna be there. I'm gonna watch it from home, right? We're gonna find out a lot about the boys, mate. We're gonna see how much they want it. I'm telling you, you'll know from the first bounce. We need 4 quarters of fucking full-blown pressure and footy.
Yeah.
I agree. When you're at the game, right? I watch it on TV. Can you see our defenders too high up the ground, and the ball getting kicked over their heads all the time?
Yeah, look. I know we do that a lot, and I know it's sort of like kamikaze football where we push up, but they look slow running back. They didn't look this slow last year.
You know, but do you when you're at the game, right? I can't see it probably because I can't see it.
You can see it at the game. Yeah.
The TV moves with the ball, right? But you know, after the other teams score a goal, right? When you're at the game, do you ever watch the defense pull back a bit? Do they hold back or do they stay up high still?
They stay up high still. For the most part, they stay up high. That's why you see Darcy Moore running from 30 meters back, and he's just not getting into position.
So when you this is what I'm trying to work out. I can't see on TV. When you're at the game, right, and say Darcy Moore gets caught up the half back line, right, and he's on the mark. Do the other defenders do they roll back around behind, or do they just stay there up high?
No. Most of the times they'll roll back. It just really depends. It'll be interesting to see more on Friday how they go, because you know Jeremy Cameron, Tyson Stengel, fucking Ollie Henry. It's gonna be very interesting. Geelong are fucking they're potent. Geelong are really
back in form.
Yeah.
We've got a hard run home. We've got a bad run home as well, bro. We've got a hard run home, man.
Yeah.
We've got heaps of fucking games.
Yeah. All we can hope for is that we qualify for finals. That's it. Doesn't matter if it's 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th. As long as we scrape into finals and we have a full team back, we'll be right. Manny, thank you for the chat, mate.
All right, bro, take it easy. We'll see what happens Friday night, huh? Keep your head up.
You too.
Hopefully we get the
You
job
too.
done. Hopefully we get the
You
job
too,
done.
mate. You too.
See you, bro.
I'll see you around.
Ciao.
See you, brother.
Ciao.
Bye.
See you, bro. Cool, mate.
Yeah, Manny's right. We're gonna see a lot about this team on Friday. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be an interesting game. Like, obviously it's gonna be an interesting game, but fuck. Geelong are always that sort of thorn in our side. So we'll see. Kev, you ready to go, mate? All right.
Swoop,
How
I'm
you
at
going,
the
Kev?
VFL. Yeah, good, mate.
Oh yeah. How we looking?
26 points down. AJ just kicked the goal.
Nice. How's AJ been? How's our forwards going?
Not too bad. Frankston have done pretty good for majority of the game. Our first quarter, we dominated and we kicked like 4 or 5 goals. But then Frankston kicked a few late in that first quarter and we just couldn't get near it in the second quarter. So they overran us in that. But look, I was angry, to be honest with you, on Friday night. I could not believe how terrible we were playing. I thought that we would win and probably win in a close one. But I wasn't expecting us to get a lead like that, let Essendon come back, and then they ran over the top of us and we have to come back and win. But we shouldn't rely on this comeback game. Like, we should be playing well for 4 quarters regardless.
Yeah,
and that's been the
definitely.
biggest frustration this year. And we look slow. Our midfielders look really slow. Injuries have killed us this year, not going to lie. But, yeah, it's pretty disappointing, man. I expected better from this group. And
yeah. So what do you think needs to change, Kev?
Well, we need to put Darcy Moore up forward, I think.
Interesting.
I think because Darcy Moore, he dominated by taking intercept marks, but I just feel like if you play him up forward, he can kick your 2 or 3 goals a game. And that's what we need. He's not a defender. He gets caught out of position far too often. And the fact is that he doesn't show as much leadership in the back line. It's always Brendan Maynard, Scott Pendlebury. It's those guys that are showing the leadership.
Yeah, do you reckon? So if we play Darcy more forward, do you think? Who was that, Kev? Did we just score another one, or was that Frankston?
I think Frankston's got one. By the look of it,
classic.
it's back out to back 2 points.
So if we put Darcy Moore in the back line, obviously that means in the forward line. Obviously that means Jeremy Howe goes forward. Who else would cover sort of Darcy Moore's position?
I wouldn't mind playing either Kruger in defence, or you could put Will Hoskinelli off a half-back flank, potentially, because Will Hoskinelli has done that before. The only problem is you got Billy Frampton in there, and now with Cameron, whether or not he'll play or not, I think we might need to have Billy Frampton as a second ruck option and keep Kruger in the forward line. Because Kruger, as much as he looked good kicking those 2 goals, I just felt like we needed that kick long down the line. And, it just felt like to me that we were not really, he couldn't play that second ruck role. But I think we do need to put him up forward and Billy Frampton as the second ruck.
Yeah, I don't think Nathan Kruger is the answer in the back line at all. He's definitely not the answer. He has to stay up forward, especially now with no Myercheck. We can't just leave it. If we still keep Darcy Moore down back, we can't just leave it up to Jeremy Howe in the forward line. It has to be fucking Nathan Kruger. It has to be, I don't know, Ash Johnson, Josh Eyre, if he comes in, you know what I mean? So Reef maybe. Reef is more like Reef. Reef is good. How's Reef gone today?
He came off after half time, so I think we're just managing him on what I'm
Interesting.
hearing.
Yeah,
Because I think he might be that Myercheck option as well. But I think as well, like, our press was so good last year. And when we went to training as well, you could see that the boys were hungry. It feels like they've lost their hunger a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It does look like that. I guess, injury. I know, we can say that injuries, we got injuries and stuff like that, but we were winning games when we were injured. But I think it just takes a toll on the older guys having to sort of do twice the work with these sort of these seconds coming through and stuff like that. And it does stuff up the synergy a little bit when these new guys, when the older sort of guys come in. But I don't know, like even Jordan Ngoe had a good first game when he came back. He was a bit quiet against Essendon. Pendlebury still doesn't look good. Pendlebury still looks injured. He doesn't want to
Yeah.
lay it. He doesn't want to lay a tackle and put his hands out. So there was a bit in the Essendon game where Pendles was in the halfback flank, and the Essendon player just ran around him because he couldn't stretch his arm out. It looks like his bicep is still
Big
still a little
sore.
bit. How's it going? Yeah.
Yeah.
But how do you think we're going to go on Friday, Kev? Before I leave you go.
I hope we win. I want to beat Geelong because that would make it a lot more sweeter. And then hopefully that will kickstart our season a little bit. Hawthorn's going to be a tough one for us, even Sydney up there. But if we can pull off a Hawthorn win and Sydney win, I think that will show the confidence in the boys to wanting to play well. And if we can beat Carlton and I think Richmond as well and Brisbane, that would be handy,
Yeah. No, awesome. Thanks, Kev. Enjoy the VFL, mate.
Will do, mate.
Thanks for the updates, brother. See you, mate. Bye.
All good, brother. Bye.
Bye. All right. Laughing Magpie, you ready to go? Thumbs up, because I can't hear you. Beautiful. Hey,
yeah, good. Could you hear me now?
Yes, yeah, I got you. Got you loud and clear.
Sweet. The other day, you can't put lipstick on a wild boar and call it your wife, can you?
No, you can't. You can't.
I tell you what, McRae many years ago was an assistant coach at the Melbourne Storm under Craig Bellamy, and I could tell you what those dickheads could do with a Craig Bellamy style spray. They really can.
I think we need one. I think we need a big spray to this team, especially at 3/4 time last week. We needed a big one.
Yeah, I tell you what, the only acceptable spray for me is if McRae breaks his coffee mug. Throw it at the wall.
What are you sort of thinking though with the rest of the season going forward?
Well, I don't see us beating Geelong with the way we're playing. I don't see us beating Carlton. I don't see us beating Sydney on their soil, albeit they did lose to Fremantle by 1 point. But they've been dominating up there all year. So
yeah.
And I tell you what, there are plenty of our guys out there who looked good on paper, but when you look at them in the picture, they looked absolutely pathetic.
Yeah.
Like,
what do you think needs to change?
There's no leadership. I can see no urgency. I can't see any of that. Like, we're just too shy.
Yeah.
We're just too shy.
So, but besides sort of that, so besides being you said shy, how do you what can we do in your eyes that will sort of make us be that sort of team that we were maybe even 7 weeks ago?
Well, first of all, chuck Lepic back into the back line would be a good start.
Yep.
Because every time I see our defenders run in that back line, they're just running around like chickens with their heads cut off.
Yep.
The second one, it's a big thing. It's going to divide opinion, but I'll say it anyway. I'd relinquish the captaincy from Darcy Moore and hand it to Braden Maynard, because Braden Maynard, he's got that inspiring element to him. Like, he's willing to die for the Stripes, and Moore at the moment just looks like he's living to see another day.
Yeah,
And
that's
mate,
that's interesting. But I don't. They're not gonna relinquish the captaincy. I think Moore's a really good captain. I think he's just down on form. I remember when I was talking
yeah,
to Jonathan Brown before the Brisbane game. So when we were both 0-3, or Brisbane was 0-4, whatever it fucking was.
we were both 0-3.
So both 0-3. So he said that, we were talking about sort of Darcy Moore and how he's the captain playing shit in a shit team, like when we were 0-3, right? And he said that he's been there. Obviously when Brisbane were going terribly, he was the captain there. And his form was down, and Brisbane were like getting smashed and losing. And he said it's hard to sort of inspire a team when your form's down and you're the reason why you're leaking goals, or you're the reason why your backline is sort of the reason why. So I can see how he might be a little gun shy, but even before the game, Darcy Moore, when they were in the huddle and the cameras going around, he did give them a bit of a spray. They did look G'd up, and that first quarter we came out and we pumped them. So what do you think happened from between that first quarter to the second quarter? Do you think it was just Essendon's pressure and we just crumbled?
That would be half of it, but from what I see, the way these guys are doing it, they just like, oh yeah, we played one good quarter, and then they just flop the rest of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what,
Yeah, go.
more Murphy, you can see how good of a support Murphy was down back for Darcy Moore last year, and then because now he's retired, we don't have an adequate replacement for Murphy yet. It's like, and through what I say about Nathan Murphy, he is going to be a lot harder to replace him than you would say. Like when I watched Murphy, I got a lot of Steven Silvani with the way Murphy played, willing to take risks on both the physical and the tactical scale, and we just don't have anybody who's willing to take that risk from there, who's willing to take those risks.
Yeah. But the thing is, so I did a whole video comparing, Darcy Moore with and without Murphy, and you could see that it is sort of different. But I think for as much as we sort of miss Murphy and what he can do to the back line, I think it's Darcy Moore's confidence that's shot, because he's spoiling balls that he would usually mark. He's an All-Australian defender because he was intercept marking, and he was, doing this and coming back and playing on. Like, having Nathan Murphy in this, let me tell you, having Nathan Murphy in the side isn't going to stop Darcy Moore's kick-ins going to an opposition player. How many times have we seen that this year? You know what I mean? I think it's really a and this is exactly what I sort of talked to Jonathan Brown about as well. At the start of the year, I felt like Darcy Moore was trying to play a Darcy Moore and Murphy role at the same time, and it wasn't working out. Then he sort of went back to his singular role. I think Charlie Dean really helps him out.
He does.
And sort of Jeremy Howe, but you need Jeremy Howe up forward at the moment because of what he can provide for us.
Yeah, like I saw him the other night. He got I got a goal or two on Redmond, which is refreshing. I don't like Mason Redmond. I don't like Mason Redmond. I haven't liked him for a few years now. But yeah, you can see the support that the backline are providing Darcy Moore. That like they're not willing to back him up. Those guys up down back, they're not. There's no initiative or proactivity down there.
Yeah. So if you were Craig McRae, what's one thing that you're changing for the Geelong game? If you could only make one change to it? What are you doing to this team?
McInnes has to start now. McInnes, he as I checked on Jen's. Profile. She said that Reef has been rested for the second half against Frankston. So I suspect that because he's the most exposed forward of the lot this year.
Yeah.
So I can't see it being Errol Johnson because they've kind of not had the exposure. And
Well, let me just say, as you're sort of saying that, I was just looking at the VFL scores. Ash Johnson has 5 goals.
good on him.
Ash Johnson has kicked 5 goals today, so I think that's sort of good. So, like you said, Reef was subbed out. Reef was subbed out. Probably they're resting him. Yeah, but fucking this game might play Johnson into form.
I really hope so. He's like, when he puts the effort in, he's a really good player, and he's gone through a fair bit. And earlier this year, he wasn't putting it in and putting the effort in, but those guys the other night weren't putting the effort in. With Johnson, there are so many things on when you're a professional athlete that you can't control, but the one thing you can control is how hard you work, and sometimes Johnson tends to fall a bit short in terms of application.
Yeah, he does a little bit, and I'm such a big, as everyone sort of knows, I'm such a big Johnson believer. I love Johnson. So hoping this is the game that sort of kickstarts him. Mate, thanks so much for coming on.
No worries.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks, brother. Enjoy the sun. See you, mate.
You too.
See you, brother. So yeah, I'm looking at it now. There's about 19 minutes gone in the last quarter. So when we were talking to Kev, we were 36 points down. We're 13 points down now. Ash Johnson has 5 goals. Reef has gone off at halftime because obviously he was subbed. So it could be, is it Reef more than likely, and then it could be might be Ash's day. Ultimate, you ready to go, mate? You'll be the last one on this nice, short, sharp, and sweet catch up. All right, let's go. How you going, boss?
Yeah, doing all right. Obviously, was just watching the first half of the VFL and just sort of, obviously seeing how the boys are currently going in the AFL. Just trying to see what the next options are going forward. So,
you know what? Actually, you know what we'll try and do while we're talking. Let's give me a sec. Let me see if I can do a. Let me see if I can do a shifty here. Keep talking while I try and.
It's kind of difficult to know like where to go in terms of like what sort of moves do you make through the AFL side. I mean, just watching like today, I thought with Air, I thought he presented really well in the first half. Like obviously, I haven't seen the third quarter because I've been on here, obviously, but so if there's been anything different, that's because I haven't seen the third. But because I believe like AJ's kicked a couple because he only had I think 2 up until halftime. I don't think he had 2. I think he might have only had 1. So he's obviously kicked 3 in the third. So even I feel like Josh Ayres probably one of the options like you probably got to look at. I'm sort of the. I mean, I'm obviously I'm obviously more than happy to be wrong, but I'm starting to sort of lose the faith on sort of Reef and AJ. And I think with Reef, I think he needs to be probably more of a midfielder than a forward at the moment.
Yeah.
Especially given that during his draft year, he was like that mid forward and a lot more mid than he was forward sort of thing. So I think that's like probably his go. And Josh Ayres probably out of the key forwards, I'd probably say he'd be just my pick. And that's probably pure just out of we haven't seen him at senior level footy, and I think everyone else has pretty much had their go. Not necessarily from an opportunity point of view, but it's just sometimes you just don't know. Sometimes you can just play. Like I mean, best example is like a Richards. they played
Yeah.
Richards and he just turned out to be a natural, and sometimes things like that can happen.
Exactly right. Yeah.
I know he's not obviously ready as well too, and I know I've sort of become a bit of a fanboy towards this player already, but I really think we should be playing Ilaru Smith next week. Again,
Jesus.
I know he's not ready, but we do need some height in the forward line, and not only that, I feel like, well, depending how Darcy is at the moment, we really need someone to. If obviously if Darcy's like okay, and if he is playing on Friday night, that's actually been one of the things I've sort of thought the last like couple of weeks, because he hasn't been playing to how he has the whole season compared to like the last, like, I want to say 3 weeks just off the top of my head, and I feel like that's got a lot to do with Cox not playing. So
Yep.
having your key forward in Josh Eyre. So obviously with Checkers being out, I think Ilaru Smith coming in and actually being that backup ruck to Darcy, if he is obviously fit, because we don't know with what's going on there. But and especially with someone like Ilaru Smith, he can actually play a role, given that he's got the height and he's very he has an appetite for the contest. So sometimes that can also be I'm trying to think of the right word, but that can be the deterrent from, I think that's the word I'm trying to look for. If not,
I think that is the word.
In terms of like with his ability to compete, that can at least give us that like point of difference. And plus, with especially now with Darcy, probably not even like, regardless if he plays on Friday, he won't be 100%. I feel like just having someone like a Kruger as a backup ruck, I don't think that gives someone like a Cameron not a vote of confidence, but like, I don't think Cameron's going to be confident if Kruger's going to be second ruck. Where you put in someone like a Smith, yes, he's probably not going to be confident either, but at least it's like someone that, can tap the ball, like he competes. Like there's a lot. I feel like from a backup ruck point of view, I think there's a lot more stability around the idea of actually Ilaru Smith doing it rather than someone like a Kruger.
Well, I'm looking at Smith's stats at the moment. So he's had 33 hitouts, 4 clearances, 6 tackles, and 10 disposals, and he's sitting on 80 fantasy points. So that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good outing. He besides the other ruckman that he's going up against, Angus Grant. He's doing a little bit better because he's kicked the 2 goals. But Grant had less tackles, same clearances. So Smith is holding his own, but I feel like that's a big baptism of fire against a Geelong side if you were to play him.
Oh, I'm not saying it's an idea I'm like all for,
I know
he's not ready, but it's like you need someone in that position. And I mean, we saw Kruger play centre half back, and even though I thought in terms of his impact, he actually impacted a lot more than what I thought he would. I mean, he's been struggling to kick goals for like the last couple of weeks, and kicks 2 from centre half back. So I don't know how that works, but figure that one out. But so, and the other thing I'll also point to as well, because I know we've obviously tried the Jeremy Howe forward. I think a lot of, because that's like probably the other thing too. I feel like our back line, it's not very settled. Like you can see there's like a lot of nerves in the back line, in that back line. So I feel like throwing Jeremy Howe back in defense will definitely, because I feel like every time he's either not there or he's up forward, we always seem to be very I don't want to say scared, but we're very they can definitely feel he's not there, and because he's not there, the confidence just isn't there as much when he is there. Like the impact that he has, not necessarily from his skills, but the impact of just existing in the back line is, it gives someone like a Quano a bit more confidence, probably like a Charlie Dean a bit more confidence. I mean, even back in 21 when we played West Coast, and like I think he missed like 2/3 of the season, and he came back in that West Coast game, and we had guys like Track Magin in the back line, and he was albeit he had so much work to do, but you could see once Jeremy Howe came back, even like a Jack Magin back then was really confident. So I feel like having someone like a Howe there, as much as I would want, a key forward, but again, that's where you got Josh Hare. That's where you got, even if you want to go a bit left field and go Illaroo Smith. AJ's kicked 5 if he hasn't kicked more. I feel like, and then also as well, if you got a backline that's solid, and even I've even criticised like the midfield as well too, because I feel like we're starting to get some of the players back, but like even they're like just way too slow out of the middle. I just don't think we have enough leg speed. I mean, do we try like just to give someone that has leg speed? Like, do we try Harrison in the middle? Like,
just to change things up a little bit.
Yeah, because I can tell you now, if we play Sydney in the final, like they're going to carve us up. So, I mean, even with like DeGoey at the moment, like I know he's probably another that's probably not 100%, but it's like, what do you do with DeGoey? Because if he's not 100%, like, obviously he's like a match winner at his best, but
would you play DeGoey in the forward line?
Currently, right now, absolutely, because I just don't see. And then you move him to the midfield when you really, really need him, and it's like, okay, we just got no choice. Because we know DeGoey as a forward is probably not far better. That's probably too strong of a word, obviously, but he's probably when he's a forward, because obviously when he was a forward under Buckley, he was one of our best. Actually, no, he probably was our best forward because.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Didn't he kick like 50 goals in 18 or something? So that's nothing to sneeze at. So something like that. But
like and we saw what we know what he can do in the we know what he can do. Like so 2018 he kicked 48 goals, 2019 34, and then he starts, obviously.
Yeah, that was when I think 2020 was when he started being in the midfield.
Yeah, so 14, 23, 18, 18, and then only 6 this year, but we know that he's had a bunch of injuries this year. If DeGoey can't run, I still think, I said it in a video a while ago, I still think 70-30 forward mid is the right amount for Jordan DeGoey at the moment, especially with our injuries, especially with no Elliott.
Especially with the injury,
it would be different if we had Elliott. Like I think we're sort of forgetting not forgetting how important he is, because we know how important he is. But up until when Marchek and Elliott were still injured, both of them together. So we target Elliott and we target Marchek the most out of anyone in the competition in our forward line. And even though they weren't playing for like 3 weeks or something, they were still our number 1 and our number 2 targets going inside forward 50. So that's how much we target them. So I think having Elliott back will help. But again, this bastard's like 32, so we can't keep relying on these older players. They've only got a couple more years. So I think Elliott's got 2 years maybe left in him on his contract. No,
I believe he's next year. I think he's out of contract next year.
Oh yeah. So it will be interesting when we get him back. Someone said, I can't find the comment now, but someone said, Cool Rains, we could be getting Cox, McStay, and Elliott back after the Geelong game. I think Cox, as much as Cox is sometimes a bit of a liability, he fucking helps us so much. Like from 211 centimeter forward, just sitting in that forward line. And like you said, he works in tandem with Darcy Cameron. Mason Cox is a really good tap ruckman as well.
Yeah. So
we might see. I thought it was going to be the trident, the 3-pronged trident attack of McStay, Kruger, and Myercheck, but it might be Kruger, McStay, and Cox when he comes back.
Yeah, because I think that's like the other thing that we're not speaking about enough is that I think Cameron needs a lot more support than what he's gotten over the last few weeks, because he's been he's probably, I mean, again, I always hate putting this out because, like, you know, whether if he comes like 3rd or 5th or 15th in the best and fairest, who the hell knows? But I mean, to me, he's had an awesome season. Whether if it's, I mean, I'll probably say just to put a number out there, he'd be at least like top 5 in the Copeland at the moment. And I've always been a believer of, if you have players playing well, like, just make it as easy for them as possible. And I think having Cox not being there, or just having someone that's just not supporting Cameron, it's only making his job harder. And if you make the job harder for someone, all they're going to do is either break down or, you know, for whatever reason. And so I think Cox is a much needed in, even if he doesn't play well, just as long as he's giving Darcy Cameron a breather. Like, that's all. Yeah. That's really all he needs to do at the moment.
No, 100%.
Yeah, especially with like Kruger, seeing him in the ruck and how he like, I even saw him fall over in the rucking contest from time to time, and it's like,
Kruger,
it's like as much as you want to cheer on the boys and celebrate, and it's like, come on, mate, at least keep your feet. Like,
it was horses for courses, unfortunately, against the Bombers. Look, Eugene, before I let you go, mate, tell me one. Morgan, I agree. They had a chance. They could have even fucking, what's his name? The one that we wanted, the one that we trained with, Teakle. Even Teakle would have been okay, just as just cover.
Yeah, I wanted him to get picked.
Yeah, even fucking Goldstein, I would have taken at this point. You know,
I think he had too many connections with Brad Scott, to be honest. That because he was originally in North Melbourne, and I mean, clubs can always like put the offer there, but I think the Brad Scott connection was too strong.
Yeah. So before I let you go, and before we finish this off, what was your, if you could make, like I asked the other guys, if you could make only one change to the team on Friday, Craig McRae comes to you and says, Eugene, we need you to make one fucking change. What is it going to be?
Jeez. No, I'm going to show some support for my guy, Hillary Smith.
Yeah, wow.
I as much as it's a bad call, it's a call that, because again, we don't have that sort of type, and I know he's going to at least compete. Like, he doesn't have to be a main ruck. Just put him in the forward line, have him as a backup ruck, like, and just tell him just have at it, have a go, have a crack. Because it's either that,
and he will.
He
will.
will. Like, and that's the thing. That's why I'm even entertaining the idea. The fact that he has a crack and gives it a go. Like, he had 6 tackles, I think, from memory. I don't know. I got the phone there, but I will say real quick too. With Long, I was actually very impressed with Long. Like, that's definitely another guy, because we definitely need someone in the middle that can put pressure on. I thought Long did very well for his last quarter, so hopefully he starts. But in terms of guys coming in, there's nothing that's really standing out. Because even someone like a TJ, you know, he had his game, but you know, that's I don't think we're going to be going too much down the route of not necessarily a rebuild, but just like, all right, let's play a couple more, you know, kids just so that they get a bit of experience towards the end.
Yeah.
I don't think we're in that position yet. But
it's not. We're not in dire straits just at this moment.
Definitely not. But yeah, Hillary Smith, just to give Cameron some support, and if he just competes in the forward line, if he takes 2 marks inside forward 50, that's 2 shots on goal, kicks 2 goals for the game, where you'd probably take that every day of the week. And because there's not really many others. As I said, Josh Ayres probably another one. AJ just kicked 5, or if he's kicked more, I'm not sure. But
5.
Maybe that's another one, because you just got to because I think he kicked 3 a couple of weeks ago. So but there's no one really like standing out, at least I can see.
Well, that's it. When your VFL team, when you've taken half the VFL team out to play in the firsts, and you know, I think that's 9 losses in a row now. It gets a little bit hard. But look, we'll see what happens, and we'll we'll show up on Friday and support the boys. Ultimate, thanks so much for joining me, mate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's definitely the thing. Yeah, make sure we especially this whole too, because I'm sure the boys are definitely I don't want to say the term down bad, because I think that's got a bit of a different meaning, but yeah, I think if there's ever a time to support the club, it's definitely now. Like 2 losses that we probably should have won, instead of piling on. I think we should just be having our arms around the team and the club at the moment. So when Friday comes around, cheer loud and support as much as you can.
Yeah, no, 100%. Ultimate, thanks so much, mate. I appreciate it.
All good.
Thanks, brother. Cheers. All right, we're going to do one more, one quick one. Ben, you ready to go, mate? All right. How you going, boss?
How are you, man? How are you?
Oh, yeah, not too bad on this beautiful Melbourne Sunday. How's it going in NZ?
Not too bad. Sunny as well. So we got some good weather.
Nice.
Last week we got some of your bad stuff, I think. So.
So tell me, mate,
Cheers,
what are your thoughts going forward?
For the rest of the season, or
rest of the season, and what do you think the game against Geelong's going to sort of play out like?
I didn't see the whole of the Geelong game, but they look quite comprehensive against Hawthorn, I saw.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they play their ground really well.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. They beat Essendon. Essendon beat us. It's like, oh, man, what are we going to get? This is gonna be some crazy game.
Yeah.
Rest of the season, it's tough. I was gonna ask, is Darcy Cameron actually hurt, or is he just like what they missed him as precaution?
No, well, he copped a real bad knock to his ribs at training, and then he copped the same knock during the game, but no broken bones or fractured. It's just really bad bruising. So he'll probably kind of, I think the same as when Scott Pendlebury came back, he had that rib protection. So Darcy Cameron probably plays with that sort of the rib pad as well. You would think. I don't. If we rest him, there's not really anyone else to fucking pick up the pieces. So has to be. You have to. Unfortunately, he has to probably push on. If it's just bruising, he'll have to sort of push on. But hopefully, it's nothing more. We'll find out on Tuesday. I think they do the Monday. They'll do the injury report.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy. How was watching it at home?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say when it was 31 points down, I had this weird feeling of like, could they come back from here?
Yeah.
And then it was just like, nah. I think if probably would have kept the first goal in that last quarter, I think we would have been on for sure. But they got the first.
100%. They got that first one. Then we could have kicked a couple. Then they sort of kicked another one, and then it was just I think 12 points really flattered us because Essendon just kept missing goals, and Essendon were just after quarter time. Essendon were just way more clinical. They were chopping all of us up, but it was at the ground in the last quarter when we started kicking a couple goals. Everyone was sort of gearing up, but there was no Collingwood chant for the whole game. Before the game, well, obviously not after the game, but before the game, in the first quarter, it wasn't even a chant. When we were sort of coming back in the last quarter, there was no chant. It was very quiet. Supporters leaving after everything that they sort of gave us in the last couple of years was disappointing as well.
Really?
That was. I know that was disappointing. But look, before we sort of end this, if you could do one change? Craig McRae comes up to you and says, Ben, what's one change you're going to make from New Zealand, mate?
One change, interesting. I just heard what the I forget his name. What the last guy said about
Ultimate greatness. Yep.
I'm not. I feel like there's rushing it too much. I know we don't have much, but I feel like that's.
Yep.
It's like putting It's like if you would put me in there. It's like it's what do you want to say about you? It's like
Yeah,
like
I get
extra body. If he's going to get destroyed, and they're playing Geelong, who have
Yeah.
Reece Stanley, who's experienced, and they have
Yeah.
like VFL tested ready or AFL tested
Yeah.
players. So I think they'll be irresponsible.
Yeah,
That
I
makes
get what you're
sense.
saying. Yep.
But random one, Josh Eyre, maybe. There's a
Yeah,
chance,
yeah, he
but
did. He did. I think he kicked 3 goals today. I think he kicked 3 goals today. It would be nice to sort of bring him in after everything that he sort of went through with that injury at the start of the year. And now he's sort of showing some form. Ned Long probably starts as well after a good sort of 30% of game time. Something has to give. And like Manny said right at the start, I don't know if you were here at the start, but Manny said we'll find out from the opening bounce if the pies are on or if it's going to be a fucking bloodbath.
absolutely. We get up for Geelong, I feel. Like the last few
Yeah, we
games we
do.
played against
We
them,
do.
like we do. And I don't know if Craig McRae needs to go Damien Hardwick on them, but I hope he might be doing that internally. You never know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be bloody interesting. Ben, thanks for joining me, mate.
Sweet. Thanks, Luke.
Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon, brother. See you, mate.
Yeah.
Bye.
All good.
Bye. Oh, all right, guys. That was nice and fun. We'll definitely do this one again. What I want to do, so I live in Craigieburn, so getting from the game to home takes me so fucking long. So especially for a game that finishes at 10. So I don't really want to do like fan cams at like midnight because your boy needs his beauty rest as well. Maybe I'll just fucking bring my laptop and hotspot off my phone and do fan cams on the train. Let's try something. Let's try something different on Friday night after the game. But thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking your time out on this Sunday. I'm gonna go and make a coffee because I'm about to fall asleep. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Go Pies. A bunch of videos coming out as always. Love ya. See you later.